This is Ronan, Rocky Mountain Pro Superstar and professional wrestling's only true vampire, and you are listening to RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.
RMP Radio is back on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me on this edition, I've got the Encyclopedia of RMP, Lucas Bradwell. Lucas, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a long time since we've talked, especially on this format. I'm very excited to kind of be back doing this type of thing and to be on the show talking wrestling with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, so cool. And one of the reasons we've got you back on is you've recently made a return to RMP, specifically, with the Twitch stream, the pre-show, the Ignition. How's it been making that return?
It's been awesome. I'll tell you, I like doing the pre-show is a little bit different than being a regular commentator.
Yeah,
you're interacting, especially on Twitch. You're interacting with the fans while you're doing the pre-show. You're selling the product that's coming up. You're kind of an analysis, giving your analysis of the matches that are going to be coming up. It's really fun, and doing it with Titus has been a blast. So I've enjoyed myself so far.
Yeah, you're like you said, you're trying to kind of hype up the people to, especially in this particular case for Rocky Mountain Pro, to get those subscription to Twitch for the people that are not going to be able to attend in person. Because your first back was actually, was it that fans were going to be in attendance later on that day, right?
Yeah, that was the first time we had fans back since Milestone.
Yeah,
Milestone 10, which I actually made a cameo there as well.
Right. Yeah.
So this was the first time I'd been back full swing, and the fans were there. So it was pretty cool to finally kind of get back in that groove.
Yeah. So, what is it that besides the, like you said, of course, interacting with the Twitch audience for in this particular case, because they're Rocky Mountain Pros, you guys have known from the previous episodes. If you don't, swing back, catch a couple of the previous episodes. We were talking to KD about Ignition and Matt about Ignition. They're revamping it. We finally got, I think, a feel of what Ignition's going to be, and the pre-show. So, what's it like? In this particular case, kind of getting Ignition kind of relaunched, kind of evolved into, hopefully it's a final product, because it's had different versions throughout the history of RMP and NRW.
Yeah, I like what they're trying to do with Ignition. It not as much story based, but the wrestling, I think, is even more in the forefront than it ever has been. And the matches that we've had so far that we've taped and that I've been able to commentate on have been excellent. I mean, the matches that you could see on Charge, that you could see on pay-per-view events, they've been that good. So I think fans are going to be pleasantly surprised on just how good the quality of matches are.
Yeah, and specifically too, we've always going to have that one key selling point at the end of Ignition. Every Ignition, we're going to have that Ignition championship defended, whoever the champion is going to be.
Well, yeah, we're actually doing the Twitch championship, which is
the Twitch. I'm sorry,
different. Yeah, because the Ignition really no longer exists. But yeah, currently our champion is still the Bearded Lady as of this taping right here, and the Bearded Lady has been tremendous as the Twitch champion, and I think that fans are going to love not only seeing that title defended on on Ignition, but I think they're going to just be surprised to see that there's a lot of Laquettes matches and a lot of the things that they like about Charge they're going to see on Ignition as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like Ignition is kind of the parallel to like a Sunday Night Heat or a buy-in for those other companies? Do you feel like it's
absolutely? I think that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
Is that to not just have two relatively new, unknown people. We try to kind of mix up the matches. Have been very diverse. We've had Mercury Yaden versus a brand new wrestler that just came out of the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. And
right.
It's that kind of thing where you have a big name guy that's been in the business, and then you got some guys that are trying to prove themselves and move on up. So it's a very good diverse card that you're going to see on Ignition.
Yeah, so true. And of course, like we said, we're going to see you and yourself with Titus hyping everybody up, getting ready to get those charged events, the big events, like for example the most recent with getting everybody excited for Never Broken, most recently, which of course isn't out for anybody but Twitch subscribers. So definitely definitely tell all the listeners to subscribe to that, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
The pre-show is going to basically get you guys pumped up for if you aren't already pumped up for the action that you're going to see on such as Never Broken. I think that Titus and we have a good chemistry with each other and we play off each other well. So I think that us doing a show like that will really kind of help people understand just how good of a card you're going to see and what kind of action you're going to see by getting a subscription to Twitch.
Yeah, so true. So in your time away from RMP, how did you keep up with the product to just be able to slide back right in there and feel? It seems like had no table rust, I guess would be the best way.
I don't think I had much rust. I had a little bit on my first night back was in February, and it really felt good to get back. I will say that I've been trying to go to some of the training sessions in the middle of the week that they have at Fast Performance Center, trying to get to know some of the newer wrestlers. That was probably the most difficult thing, is because a lot of these men and women I have not had the privilege of meeting before.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the biggest thing for me getting back, was getting to know some of these newer people that I have watched, because I have kept up with the product as much as I could. But yeah, there was a lot of new faces when I went back, and they all welcomed me back with open arms. So it's just getting to know they all have different backgrounds and different move sets, and so that's probably the most challenging thing when you're out for almost 2 years like I was.
Yeah. Who is it that you've met and that excites you of, like, say, the new crop, and then additionally maybe on a parallel, who is you excited to see in person and get to call their matches once again?
Right. Well, the person that caught my eye from the first night when I went back for the training, Owen Easton, who's had a couple really good matches so far in his just real short career. The guy just impresses me. He's got this super positive attitude about wrestling and everything. And one of the guys that I really have already just been drawn to. And as far as being excited to call a match, Damon Ace. And I still haven't called the Damon Ace match. He hasn't been on an Ignition match yet, but the guy's got a huge ceiling. And then it's been good to call some of the matches of some of the guys that I've called before, Atiba and Curtis Cole, and those guys are have always been some of my favorites, and to be able to call their matches again is always fun.
Yeah, yeah, so true. Maybe if I can, maybe put it out there, we never could, with Damon Ace being the current charge champion, he could always have a cameo on Ignition, calling somebody out for later in the night. Who knows?
Yep, absolutely. We've already had some surprising things that have happened on Ignition, so
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me to have something like that. There's been some appearances, run-ins on Ignition as well, so those kind of things could happen. You never know.
Yeah. Do you feel like they've been doing a lot of along that lines, a lot of things that have kind of tied in and been able to make the jump from Ignition and Charge to kind of get the storyline, to continue throughout the night to keep everybody tuned in and view for the entire. When we have a Charge taping, we're talking, what are we talking? Probably about 5 or 6 hours in total length.
Yeah. From the time we start pre-show, 4:00, is when we start the pre-show. We usually start action for Ignition sometime after 5.
Yeah.
And so by the time the matches start, there's 5 hours of live action.
Yeah.
And especially for fans watching on Twitch, if they're watching from the start of pre-show, that's 6 hours. So we have to do a good job between Titus, myself, and of course KD to really keep the transition from the pre-show into Ignition to Charged as probably as the continuity has to be there to keep fans engaged, especially on the Twitch end. I think. The live audience, there's enough things going on that, they just have to keep their energy up, and it's obviously up to the wrestlers to bring it during all their matches, so that way the fans are still have that high energy level there in the last few matches.
Yeah, and speaking of that, how do you feel that the live audience is going? Even though we have limited. Attendance right now. Do you think we're still doing a good job out there in the audience of keeping everybody excited, involved, and throughout the night, especially those long charged tapings?
Right, absolutely. I think the fans are just glad to finally be out and do something.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of opportunities to go out and do much, especially in a group of people. And I think for them just to be able to finally get with a group of people, even though the crowds aren't that big. I think we had 40 people the last taping,
yeah.
But to me it sounded like at least 100. They've are keeping their energy up. They were very loud, and especially for when there was big matches. So I think that the crowds have been great. It's been just tremendous to have a live audience to finally wrestle for, and I think that for the wrestlers, it makes their jobs a little easier when there's a live crowd. I think it was very difficult, and even though I wasn't there when they were taping in front of an empty arena, I think it must have been very difficult to work that way.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, because you don't know as a wrestler, you don't know if something is necessarily working or not working. You just kind of have to trust, breaking the fourth wall. You have to kind of trust you and your opponent and everything else that's going on, and getting that little feedback from the rest of the locker room that's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would think that the locker room is going to be pretty honest about how the match is. I think they're going to be seeing it from a wrestler's perspective, which is always different than seeing it from just a pure fan perspective. And so that's going to it's just different, because wrestlers are looking at it with probably a little bit more critical eye than the typical wrestling fan.
Yeah, yeah, so true. So along the times when we're having the live events there, so like we said, you are joining Titus for the ignition, and then KD comes in at the charged tapings or the big event, and replaces you. What are you doing from the time that happens to like when there's? I know sometimes you've come back for when there's intermissions, and like lets KD off and go take care of some of his other duties that he's got going on. What is it that you're doing to occupy your time, or what are you up to backstage and stuff like that?
I'm watching the show, and I usually will watch it on Twitch, on my phone, and also kind of watch. We have a screen,
right?
A TV live, so we're seeing exactly what you guys are seeing on Twitch. We're getting the same camera angles, and so I'm listening to KD and Titus call the action as well. I've learned a lot from KD because we both have different ways that we commentate, and and KD has a little more experience right now, especially with the newer crop of guys. He knows their moves a little more than I do. He knows their backgrounds a little more than I do. So I've learned a lot that way, and I try to interact when I can with some of the guys in the back, get to know them, the ones that I haven't had a chance to get to know in the past. So I'm always kind of trying to learn when I'm not on the cameras. So that's usually what I'm doing.
Yeah, and along with that, how distracting or not distracting, or have you gotten used to it from the delay from the time something actually happens live in person to when it actually gets out to us on the end user of the Twitch? Because it's like 5 to 10 seconds.
Right. It's especially a little bit weird when I'm actually commentating, because if I'm looking at, we have two screens. So there's one that's got the live action. And then the one that we are interacting with the Twitch fans is the one on delay. So that's been a little difficult, especially because we'll get some interaction that happened, a
while ago.
like you said, a little while ago. So yeah, that's been a little bit interesting to get used to. But it's something that Titus has kind of walked me through, because Titus is more of the expert on Twitch than myself. He's got his own Twitch channel, and so he knows all the ins and outs of Twitch and so I've learned a lot about Twitch. I was not a Twitch guy before I came back, and now I'm starting to get used to the format, and I've really enjoyed it. I never realized just how much there is using that format.
Yeah, because that's something totally new for you, because I think that was done, a little shortly after we last saw you.
Yeah, no. So yeah, when I left early 2019 was the last time I had been commentating, and yeah, I don't think we had done live Twitch yet. I remember I did one non-charged taping with Pork Chop a while back, and that was my first real time with it. So I didn't have much experience doing it. And then when I came back for Milestone 10, which was just kind of a surprise, I wasn't expecting to be there. And this is it's just a totally new experience for me, but I'm really starting to enjoy it. I've realized just that having a new platform like this, especially with the direction that even sports entertainment is going for, we have to do something like this just to keep up.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot of companies do that. Of course, even Impact Wrestling, has for example, they've got they're big on Twitch. They do a lot of things here and there, and Rocky Mountain Pro is up there with them. But Rocky Mountain Pro is the official wrestling partner of Twitch, so you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's amazing to see just how big that it's gotten on there. It's we make front page quite consistently, especially on the nights that we're doing taping. So that's been great to see. And I never realized just how many people will come in to view it. I've never seen numbers like that. We've never had that many people viewing us even on YouTube. And all the other platforms. So it's great to see just how big it's gotten.
Yeah, and along with that, of course, we're hyping up the charged event that's happening after Ignition. What's it like seeing all those subscriptions come in throughout the time of the Ignition pre-show?
Oh, it's actually really exciting to when we start getting those subscriptions come in. I know the taping that we had a few weeks ago, we started off a little slow, and boy, we had a couple different trains going where we were getting subscription after subscription. It gets really exciting, and Hoffman is in the back, and he's talking in our ear, telling us, "Hey guys, we got more subscriptions. We got 10," and it gets really exciting, and it's something. And Titus, you could tell how excited he gets, and he's giving me a kind of a bump on the arm, saying, "Look at that, look at that." And so it's really fun to see when we are getting going, and it makes me feel like, hey, we're doing our job, because all of a sudden we've got all these subscriptions coming in. So
yeah, so that's great. Now, along with that, what's it like getting in? Just for a moment, for example, like when we have intermissions for the recordings, just stepping in there for a few minutes. Of course, filling or killing time. Between matches. What's that like? Just trying to step in there real quick.
It's kind of fun, because the fans seem to have a lot to talk about during intermission, because they've already seen half the show, and so they've got a lot to talk about. When I did it on the Never Broken intermission last week, there was, obviously, without giving away anything, there was a lot to talk about, and we had just finished a big match that had a big storyline, and I actually was able to break some news of that storyline, which was kind of fun. So I've been given a little bit of a job to do during intermission. It's a little more than just killing time, which is kind of fun for me.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, that's exciting. Kind of unfortunately trying to make a little bit of a hard transition, since I think we've gotten the live recordings, live tapings, live events kind of covered there. So what we like to do here on RMP Radio, we like to kind of find out a little bit more about what the people kind of do outside of the wrestling ring. And one thing that you mentioned to me, and I'm not sure if we've had anybody that does a lot of this, but one thing you like doing is going out and go fish. What do you like to go? Is there a certain type of fishing you like to do, or a certain type of fish you like to catch?
Right. I'm a trout fisherman. Okay. I love going up to the mountains, especially the foothills. My favorite lake is probably Tarryall. I don't know if anybody in the Colorado area knows where Tarryall is at, but you go down 285 to the town of Jefferson, and you go about 15 miles south. That's Tarryall, and that's been my go-to spot for years and years, and really love going there. And I love also stream fishing. Trying to stream fishing is a little more challenging, and I kind of love it. I like that challenge a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm a native, and I don't even know where that's at. So is that a little before you get to Bailey, or?
It's actually, you keep
After?
going.
Okay.
Keep going south. Yep. You go over Kenosha Pass.
Okay.
And and once you get down to the bottom of Kenosha Pass, there's a little tiny town called Jefferson. It's got like 8 buildings, and so you make a left to there's a little county road. I believe by that time it's Park County, I believe. Okay. And you go south. If you go north, there's another town. There's another nice lake called Jefferson Lake, but that one's really high up. That's a mountain lake. But Tarryall Reservoir is south and kind of in a valley. and you can go earlier in the year there. I wouldn't recommend going to Jefferson Lake until about late June because it's still pretty damn cold up there if
Pretty
you go in
cold.
here.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
cold and difficult probably to fish and catch anything probably too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool. Okay, so another thing too, and that you do is, and we've had him on the show before, and was speaking of the Prince of Denver, Ronan. He's involved in the one of the vampire clubs here in the Denver, Colorado area, and the one thing that you've helped along with. Is his movie that he's got out. Tell us what got you involved in that, and what did you do to help out with that movie, and refresh my memory. What was the name of that movie? Was it
That's American Cannibals.
American Cannibals? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and so it's kind of interesting. For those of you who have been to a live event while I'm there, I'm sure you all have seen my wife, who's she's also a part of the vampire. It's actually the Rocky Mountain Vampire Family is the name of the group, and they're they are either part of the vampire culture or have a strong interest in it, as so do I, and they were actually approached about a year and a half ago to be part of this movie. That is, it's part movie, part documentary, and they were able to recruit a bunch of our family members. My wife is one of them. She's also in the movie, and I was there for the making of the movie. And yes, you're right. Ronan was a big part of that movie. He's one of the stars, and we had quite a few members of that family. And what is so exciting about this is that a bunch of the different film festivals picked up the movie, and the movie has won several awards across the country already. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been very successful. It was it's kind of a campy movie, but it's very well done, and it's a real fun thing to have been a part of. I actually make a cameo at the end of the credits. A lot of the activities that we've done in the past with vampire balls, our waltz that we've done. I've performed in a waltz. That part of that video is in the credits. So if you ever see American Cannibals, which I believe they're going to be releasing sometime soon to the public, you will be able to see me at the end.
So we should maybe suggest to the listeners to prepare for that. Go give them a like out there on the Facebook, and then you'll get notified when that happens.
Yeah, yep. Once again, that's American Cannibals. It's a very fun movie, guys. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a very unique way that they filmed the movie. It was done like it was a documentary. So it's I think everyone will enjoy it, and you'll get to see one of Rocky Mountain Pro's own stars, Ronan, in it. So
yeah, exactly. Have some Rocky Mountain Pro talent there in the show. Like I said, that's what we kind of do here on RMP Radio. Get to know a little bit more what everybody has, because all these varied interests. Everybody has a little bit different, but the one thing that kind of the thing that definitely does tie us all together is, of course, pro wrestling. And then
Absolutely.
you get to expand your knowledge and find out cool things, and see that everybody is a variety, and what makes everybody so unique.
Yeah, that's right. And it's one of the things that I love about listening to you is I've learned a lot about some of the guys that I've known for some of these guys I've known for 10 years, and I didn't realize that they had the interest, or that they were some of the hobbies they were into. So I've learned a lot about guys that I've known for years through listening to your show.
Oh, great. That's great to hear. I love it. So, family life, talk about that. You've got a couple of boys. One recently, you said, graduated, and another's getting ready to graduate. What's that like, as probably especially in this crazy time in the world?
It's been interesting. This has been a very interesting year for my youngest son who will be graduating in May. And in fact, they're going back to school full time starting Monday, which is the first time that he's been in school full time since last March.
Wow.
And to think that it's been kind of a hybrid learning with remote and going to school part time. It's been really, really challenging, and I'm sure he's very glad to finally be getting this over with. I couldn't imagine having kids that are, school age kids, elementary school kids. That would be even more difficult. Luckily my son is, pretty well, he does pretty well on the whole computer thing. So I think he's probably had an easier time with it. Like I said, I couldn't imagine having an elementary kid right now.
Yeah, and that's got to be weird too. Going back full time for only about 2 months before graduation.
Yeah, it is going to be. But I'm glad that he's going to get it, because I think that learning in the classroom is very important, and whatever he can get, I think will help him.
Yeah,
he's also goes to a technical school as part of his high school. So
awesome.
I think having that hands-on experience in the classroom is going to help him. So hopefully when he gets a job as a mechanic, that'll help him out there.
Oh yeah, that's very, very cool. Awesome. So what else, should we, the listeners of RMP Radio, might be interested to know what you kind of do outside of the wrestling ring, besides the helping with the Vampire Club, doing fishing, your family life, anything else interesting tidbits?
Yeah, I'm kind of a stay-at-home guy, especially during the winter months. I do like to get out and do my fishing, but I've been binge watching a lot of animal shows. I especially during this pandemic, to try to keep my psyche good, so to speak. I've been trying to keep it positive. I've been trying to keep off the whole political thing, and I've been trying to keep off a lot of negative stuff. So I've been binge watching a lot of nature shows and zoo animal shows and different things that make me smile, because we haven't had a lot to smile about during this pandemic. So it's been one thing that I've been trying to do, is just trying to keep my spirits up and not be so negative, because I know that rubs off on other people, especially my family and people that I'm around. So I've really tried to be a positive person during this pandemic and not get too caught up in all the negative stuff.
Oh, what animal shows? Because animal shows can be therapeutic. What do you have any plugs for titles of shows? Maybe people should check out.
If you're on Disney Plus, Secrets of the Zoo is they got the new season 4 just got released. So I've been doing that. A lot of baby animals being born, and it's from the Columbus Zoo, which is probably one of the best zoos in the world. So I've been really enjoying that one. And as far as nature shows, I know that the show's been out for a long time, but Life Below Zero is one of my other favorite shows about people living in Alaska. That's been amazing to me.
Oh, that's cool. All right. I got one for you if you want to check out. I think I plugged it on Facebook as well, but it's a YouTube show. It's called Reuben the Bulldog.
Reuben the Bulldog.
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of funny.
I'm guessing it's about a bulldog.
Yeah, and it's named Reuben, and it's pretty funny. It's kind of it's usually about anywhere between like 7 minutes to 20 some odd minute shows, but it's really funny. It's just about the guy, the owner, does funny things with his dog, and things like that. And they actually do a charity too with it. They do calendars throughout the years to help with charities and things like that. But it's fun. So if you're interested and listeners are interested in fun things, Reuben the Bulldog.
Oh, awesome! Because I'm a big dog guy. I have a little wiener dog, a dachshund, and his name's Oliver. And I love any dog videos. So yeah, the more dog videos you can give me to watch, I love them.
That's awesome. Yeah, dogs are fun. I know Curtis Cole was a big dog person too, and
Yes, and he also has a
I
dachshund.
was gonna say he has one too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We've actually we've shared photos of our dachshunds before. So surprisingly, there's a lot of guys in the wrestling business who have dachshunds, which
Yeah.
Curtis Cole's one, and other guys that I've worked for in the past. Some of the former NRW guys, they own dachshunds. So dachshund seems to be a popular breed among the
Yeah.
wrestling guys.
Yeah. Go figure. Who would know? Who would guess that?
Right.
You would think it'd be a husky or a Rottweiler or something like that, but no, it's
No,
dachshunds.
it's dachshunds.
That's very cool. Hey, well, Lucas, I think that might be a great, fantastic point to put on this conversation. But before I do let you go, people wanted to maybe follow you out there on the social media and get hyped up for all the Rocky Mountain Pro shows, things of that nature. Is there a place that they could do that?
Yeah, my wrestling profile is on Twitter at RMP Encyclopedia. So you can that's usually where I post the most about wrestling and where you can follow me on there. And then I also have my own profile on Twitch. So I don't have my own content, but I do get on quite a bit. So you can interact with me. I try to get on to Bud Bellflower's RMP Rewind show that you can watch from 11 to 1. I'll plug that for Bud.
Mm-hmm.
11 to 1, Monday through Friday. You can hear my old commentary on there a lot because I think I'm on just about every show. So
Yeah.
so make sure that you guys watch that whenever possible. I try to get on there once or twice a week. And my wife's on there a lot, so you can say hello to her as well. So that's usually the two best places to find me on social media.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Well, Lucas, I want to thank you, of course, for coming on to RMP Radio, and I guess I will see you at the next show.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Once again, a huge thank you to the Encyclopedia of RMP, Lucas Bradwell, for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and introducing himself to all of our listeners here on this podcast. Catch him at the next Rocky Mountain Pro show, which we should tell you all about, and that's this upcoming April 10th. It's going to be the fallout from the Never Broken. You want to get tickets to it, head over to rmpwrestling.com or head over to the Facebook page, or you can even go to Eventbrite's website or the Eventbrite app. Get that notification, look for Rocky Mountain Pro, and you'll get that notification for when upcoming events get posted in there. Now, if you're not able to attend the show, you got something else coming up, we do ask you, if you can, support us by subscribing to the Twitch feed, twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. If you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, which, heck, who isn't by now, you do get a Twitch subscription of your choice automatically included in your membership. Or if you are not, or already have yours tied up, it's a nominal fee, like $5.99 a month. And if you are an Apple user, you can get a deal, I believe. If you subscribe for 6 months, you'll get a one of those months for free. So it's I guess buy 5 get 1 free. So that's always a good deal right there. Now, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like we used to say back in the day. You want to get some merchandise of your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, head over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the merchandise link, or if you're in the Amazon website, Amazon app, search for Rocky Mountain Pro. Additionally, check with your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, a couple of different things. See if they've got a Pro Wrestling Tees website, or a Brainbuster Tees, or What a Maneuver, or the such. And also, additionally, some have merchandise in hand, so contact them on your social media, because they may have things that may not be available on those sites, like stickers, DVDs, and the etc. And they would be greatly appreciated if they can start emptying their boxes of merch and such. So give them a message to get in contact with them to purchase those things. Now, you want to watch us, like we said, twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. Of course, head over to youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro. You'll see all the charged episodes there as they get broken down into the individual episodes and polished up and everything. That's a little bit different than the when the Twitch recordings happen, and of course a little bit of a delay on those, but still it's always fun to watch those afterwards. Of course, also watch us on Fight TV, either through fight.tv or the Fight app on your phone or like the Roku. And you want to follow us, everything does stem from the website at rmpwrestling.com. And on the social media, I want you to follow 2 accounts. The first is The Rocky MTN Pro, and that is The Rocky Mike Tango November Pro, to phonetically spell it for you. And then also I want you to follow RMP on Twitch. Very good reasons to follow both of those, and you'll get all the details there in your social media inbox when it comes to Rocky Mountain Pro. Well, I want to thank you all for listening to this edition of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.